Hey guys, it's Gimme Flake Man with a blog, and I've got a Glenfiddich brand new bottle. I bought this at the airport a long time ago, forgot I had it. And I always like to kind of save these for special occasions, and the special occasion today is, there is no special occasion. Because life should be that way sometimes. The special occasion today is just respect to Gimme Flakers. Kind of interesting. My life so busy, upward struggle all the time, but interesting. So much to talk about. Well, there was a big fire today. Let me just take a sip here. That's definitely an acquired taste, and I have acquired it. There was a fire yesterday, or yeah, I guess yesterday, in Busan, Korea, and apparently in a shooting range. I didn't really, go into the details, but I've been to Busan actually, and I know Kevin Busan has been there. They say, I don't know if it's called Busan or Busan, but anyway, it's in Korea. And if you go there, when I first came to Japan, I got a work visa, and they didn't tell me, believe it or not, it was ridiculous. They didn't tell me that you have to get a re-entry stamp when you come back. So I went to India to my buddy's wedding. My buddy was getting my roommate from university is Indian. Was Indian. He's not Indian anymore. He's Indian, so he invited me to his wedding. So I went to India to his wedding. It was great, Bombay. And anyway, I left the country. And when I'm leaving, they're like, "Well, where's your re-entry stamp?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I was working with a school who had sponsored me, and I'd gone to Seoul once. Let me back up a little. When you get if you come to Japan and look for a job, you have to leave the country once to go to a different country. That's just the way the rule is. The rules are that way. And get your visa stamped and get your visa processed, your working visa, in another country, and then you come back in on a working visa. You can't actually change from a tourist visa to a working visa while you're in the country. So you have to leave the country once. So I went to Seoul, had a great time. Korean people very friendly. If you look at all lost, they will approach you and ask you if they can help. Much more willing to help lost foreigners than Japanese are. Not. And that's not to say Japanese are, hate you, because they don't. They're just scared, or, hesitant to bother you, or whatever. Anyway, Koreans will just jump right in your face. Hey, can I help you? Really friendly. But anyway, came back to Japan. Went after the wedding. Bombay was great. Then I came back and I had lost my visa. I came back in on a tourist visa. So I had to do the whole thing over again. But this time, instead of going to Seoul, I went to Busan, because it's closer. And I think I took the Shinkansen all the way to maybe Hiroshima, or I forget where, but you have to look on a map, And then I took the ferry, the overnight ferry to Busan. And it was it's like $7. And I remember there's a bunch of old Japanese women going to Korea to buy fake handbags, like brand name handbags, and bringing them back to Japan. It's a very short boat ride. I want to say it was like 7 hours, but I think it was even shorter. It was like 4 or something. You could barely get a nap in, Anyway, go to Busan, and everyone speaks Japanese, which is cool, because I had studied Korean, and could ask all these questions, but I couldn't understand the answers. But when I got to Busan, it didn't really matter, because everyone spoke Japanese, so that was cool. Yeah, very friendly. I don't really get the hate between some Japanese and some Koreans. Maybe it's like, I don't know where this exists in it's like Americans and Canadians. No, we don't really hate each other. But you know what it is? Canadians are very proud to not be Americans, and Americans are like, whatever, man. I think Koreans are really proud. Japanese are not too nationalistic in general. Yeah, they kind of front. There are those nationalist, crazy right wing guys here, but in general, they're not like into number one, which is something that they like. They have a. I think we have a reputation. We Americans, I'm saying, Americans have a reputation of saying, of being loud and pompous and very patriotic, in a kind of an annoying way. Japanese don't have that at all. In fact, they're not very patriotic. But I think Koreans are much more patriotic. I remember quite a few years ago, an American a speed skater had beaten out a Korean on a controversial, and it was a controversial judgment or something. I don't remember exactly what happened, but maybe the American pushed the Korean or something, whatever. And then like a year later, or less than a year later, there was the Winter Olympics, of course, and during the Summer Games, Korea beat America, right? Korea beat America at soccer. And the Koreans were all like, "Yeah, this is revenge," and they did something that was supposed to remind the Americans of the speed skating incident. Like they repeated some kind of gesture that had apparently happened during the winter thing. And the funny thing was that none of the Americans like cared. Like, what are you talking about? Like. And if you think about it, who really watches speed skating or soccer in America? I mean, they're not really big sports, So, but it makes you kind of think about like haters a little bit. Like they go to all this effort to get your attention, and they think they've made some big dent or some big, they've accomplished something. And most of us are like, whatever, man, But a couple nuts. I unblocked everybody from all my channels. I've got a couple nuts on the Give Me a Break Man channel, telling me that I obviously hate Japan. It's just so bizarre to me how anyone can, I don't mind hate. It's just like stupidity just confuses me. Like, why would I live in Japan for 18 years and hate it? And why would you even suggest that? And claiming I work at Nova, just really just strange. Obviously, they've done no homework. They're just flailing around randomly, hoping to hit something. But anyways, as you can tell, this blog has no real purpose. I'm just having a little drink and celebrating with you guys because you exist, and I appreciate the fact that you exist. I do have a little news. Japan Times contacted me last week, and they want to do like a video. They're going to start a new series of interviews of Japanese vloggers, or not Japanese vloggers, but vloggers based in Japan. And I'm going to be the first one. And they've interviewed other bloggers before, but they've never concentrated on YouTube. So that's really cool. And they've noticed the Japanese community growing, and it is really amazing. A year ago, this didn't exist. There wasn't a Japanese community. Not really. There was a couple. There was a Claytonia. I remember Claytonia was one of the first ones. Of course, Tokyo Kuni. I think 33 Sammy 32 kind of existed on her own island in those days. She was actually, I don't know if I think I've said this before, but she was actually kind of she's the One-san of everyone. She's the senpai. She kind of started all this. Of course, Apple Milk was out in the beginning, but she's always kind of done her own thing, not really community-minded or interacting person, which is cool, whatever. But I'm really happy to see Sammy interacting with a lot of people. In the old days, she didn't. I can't blame her. She had a lot of crap come her way, and now it's just grown. I think over 400 now. There's 400 people in my sub list, and everyone has something to do with Japan, even if they're not blogging, from Japan. They're blogging about Japan. It's really cool. It's really cool. It's amazing. So Japan Times is going to do some interview. I don't know how that's going to turn out yet, but look for that. I am gonna, if you watch this long video, I am gonna ask you to do me a favor. A company called White Press contacted me after the 100 my 100th Japanese for Morons video, and they asked me to give away some of their products. They said, we're going to send you some samples, and if you like them, we hope you'll consider giving them away. And this is something actually these products, this company is a White Rabbit Press, And Hiko Simon actually told me about them too. They make really good Japanese learning equipment. So I thought this is a great opportunity. So I'm going to be uploading a video later, a little bit later, and I hope you guys will really help me out with this by just supporting the video, just watching it and favoriting, leaving a couple comments, you know, kind of bump that video up, because I would like to have a successful impact on White Rabbit press sales, to be honest. Because if we can show that the internet and YouTube specifically, and specifically my channel, can have an effect on things like that, then in the future they will perhaps give us more things. And that will be great for everyone, right? So yeah, help me out with that video coming up soon. And did I say anything I want to do about Korea and Busan? Yeah, so 8 Japanese died in a fire at a shooting range. Oh yeah, which is the kind of interesting thing, because you know, Japanese are really anti-gun, you know. But if you go to Hawaii or Busan, where they have shooting ranges, they're packed full of Japanese practicing their, you know, they just want to try it, right? I guess. But anyway, okay. Thoughts for the day. Sorry for the long video. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.